Hi, my name is Sean Bouchard. I am a game designer at the University of Southern California. And I'm going to play a little bit of Papo Yo tonight. This is one of the 4 in February games that I've chosen for this month. 4 in February, for those of you who are not familiar, is a challenge that you pick 4 games that you never finished for whatever reason, and commit to playing them in February. So I'm going to try to do that. And my first game is Papo Yo. This is a game I think came out in 2012. It's a couple years old. And it's a really, really interesting storytelling game that is it tells a story in a different way than a typical adventure game sort of a thing, or some of what we think of as storytelling games. It really embeds a lot of its storytelling in its mechanics in a wonderfully unique way. So I played about a half an hour of this a couple nights ago and put it up on YouTube. Check that out. This is going to be me continuing from that point. And I just want to point out, I love how many frogs I can get to come on the screen. Look at all those frogs. Wonderful. All right, let's start. So, here we go. We're going to replay a little bit of a scene. I forget if this is actually going to go through the whole slow motion thing. Wonderful. Okay, we get to do this again. So, the action has changed dramatically. And this is a weird place for us to start streaming again, or start playing again after stopping. But this is a very different feel than the first part of the game had. I have control over the character, but I don't have control over the camera, or I have very limited control. I can look at where I want the camera to look, but I can't control where the camera's positioned. And that's to get that cool glare in the headlights effect that transitions us out of that. I love how that cutscene is like so short, but contains such an interesting sort of contrast between the action of that cutscene and the action of the rest of the game. And it jumps us right back into a cutscene. This is very different, right? Like, this feels very different. The colors are very different. The narrative content is very different. In the slow-mo cutscene, we're looking at this dark world, slow motion. The rain is like frozen in the air. A little boy in a car, like very. It feels very heavy. It feels very real. We come back into this world much more colorful, much more freedom. Right, I have more freedom with a camera. Oh dear, it's telling me something. Oh, the robot's telling me something. Got it. I have more freedom with the camera. I can move around much more freely than I could before. And now I've got this little flying, talking robot. Like, that's a dramatically different narrative element. That is at the same time in keeping with the beginning part of the game, right? Which we saw is about all of these sort of graffiti and chalk outlines that come to life in the world around. Look at that. Now I have a backpack. Is this going to be a super jump? I think this is a super jump. This is a double jump. Look at that. Okay, cool. So I just got a superpower, like Metroid style. There's a little bit of a Metroid or Arkham Asylum sort of element to this. Although honestly, not really. Like, it's not. I don't think I'm going to traverse the same area that I just traversed. I think I'm going to take this into a brand new area, but the new area is going to be designed differently. than the old area was. And it's going to be designed to take advantage of this new ability that I have. Papo Yo is it's a game about like a number of things. But one of the things that it's about, one of the things that I've gotten a real good sense of playing through just the first half hour of the game. I want to see how this works. Sorry, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Right mouse button. I can just point. Oh, that's neat. So now I have like a ranged interact. Okay, so just in the first half hour, I've seen a lot. This is a game that's about childhood. This is about a game that's about sort of the experience of being a child. I was rewatching the first, half hour of play just to kind of think about and synthesize what was going on. It's a game about sort of like the imagination and the joy that a child can bring to the world around them. And this world, clearly is modeled after like the favelas of like Rio de Janeiro, right? It's an imperfect world. This is not like a beautiful suburban, green, grassy world for a child to grow up in. But this little boy doesn't know that. Or if he knows that, he's not sort of put off by that. His world is full of imagination, and this game has an experience, has a feel of being a little boy in a world where you're creating sort of the things around you. You're imagining what the world could be like. You have this little robot, and what does the robot do? The robot lets you fly. The robot lets you sort of extend your reach beyond what you normally can reach. I'm just gonna do that and see what happens. And the world is, it proves itself to be beautiful and wonderful and magical. Here's my desire. I want to get on that platform. Like I just saw, whoops, I accidentally got on a ladder. So I just saw how the platform moved, switched places. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's how I can get on the platform. And now I can get on this platform. These puzzles are so wonderfully simple, and they're not, for the most part, at least so far, there's been very little logic puzzle to them. They've mostly been experimentation puzzles. They're puzzles that have a limited number of inputs, and if you just sort of like play around with the inputs, it's not going to take you very long to solve the puzzle, even if you don't have a super clear idea what you're doing. And then some of the puzzles that do require you to think logically, they tend to be very straightforward. I have been here. Holy cow, this is Metroid. So, okay, very cool. So this is an area that I visited in the last segment, where I built that little bridge, and I was super curious about this key right here, that was totally inaccessible at the time, and I wasn't sure why there was a key here that was inaccessible. Well, it's because the way these levels are built, there's a lot, there's a significant amount of going back over areas that you've already been, but having your relationship to the space be changed. And we've seen that earlier. My relationship to the space changed because I changed the space. I sort of created an opening or created a ladder or something. And now my relationship to the space has changed because I have new abilities. Like I can literally interact with the space in a way that I couldn't before. That circle is the kind of circle that I can interact with from a distance, but apparently this is too far a distance. Good job, game. teaching me that there are limits to that, that there is a range that I have to get within. Now I know I can move these houses. Oh no, I can't move the houses anymore. I used to be able to move these houses. So what I'm looking for now is a place that is accessible because I have this extended jump, or because I have this ranged ability. And I'm not seeing it, honestly, which is a little worrying, actually. Oh, I didn't turn the fucking key. What is wrong with me? I actually did not hit that key. Oh god. So this is, yeah. But I'm pretty sure I can still get over there. Oh, interesting. So that's in a completely different area. That's one of the signals that I hit before. Let's do this. Let's actually turn the key. This is gonna work out so much better. The artwork in this game is so beautiful. Look at this. Look at like how the objects, you know, these little shacks, this like shanty town of building block buildings, and the detritus, just like trash that's around, through the power of sort of being a child, and being imaginative, it transforms into something really incredible. So for anybody who didn't see the first part, I'm not terribly far into the game, but it's a short game. So this is a game that is about it's about this boy, and it takes place in at least a couple of different realities, right? We've sort of set up this idea that there are a couple different frames that we're working in. One of them we've just gotten flashes of, and it's hard to tell if the flashes are related or not. The first flash was the very beginning of the story, was this young boy sitting in a closet, obviously scared, while a figure walks by outside in a threatening manner. The entire intro has this sort of foreboding, threatening, frightened air to it. The little boy hiding in the closet literally escapes through a hole in the wall that's drawn in chalk and turns into a portal that he can go through. And he comes out in this world, this sort of abandoned favela, this Rio de Janeiro shanty town with no people in it, except for a little girl who we see, who is in the distance. And through the first part, the first segment of gameplay, we were chasing the little girl. We were trying to get across difficult terrain to find her, to get to her. We eventually did, and we're doing this by manipulating the environment in an interesting way, by interacting with graffiti that is drawn, sort of bright white, almost chalk outlines drawn on the walls, becomes real when we interact with it and changes the world in fabulous ways. We eventually reach the little girl. The little girl at the beginning of this episode freaks out, pushes us off the roof, says that we're cursed, and introduces us to the little robot character who's now helping me out. right at that moment, as part of that cutscene when we reached the little girl, you saw, we all of a sudden flashed into a different world again. And it's not perfectly clear if this is the same world that we were in at the beginning. It is different from that world in some key ways. Specifically, it was interactive, where the original world was not interactive. It was just a cutscene. And this world had that sort of slow motion thing that suggests to me that it's a memory. Between the music and the slow motion and the way that it was just framed graphically, it made me feel like it was maybe a flashback. So that's sort of where we're operating. And we will discover more about what this game is about in a minute. What am I missing? I opened this pipe. That's what I'm missing. Got it. All right. So I'm seeing now from the outside. I'm seeing the relationship between this sigil and that opening. Nice job, designers, putting wooden boards up against that opening in a way that I haven't ever seen in the environment before, right? Like, they could have put this metal grate there, but there are metal grates all over the place. I recognize this wood. I've seen this wood from the other end. I know exactly where that is. It's a really smart level design choice. That's a good bit of signaling to let me as a player orient myself. God, that was okay. I'm all right. Didn't give me a heart attack. I think that was intended to be a little stressful, though. Like, I don't think that's an accident. So, this is a puzzle that I've seen before. Although now it's having kind of a more dramatic effect on the world, right? Like, it didn't just make a drawing come to life. It made that pipe, like, literally actually appear. Although, if you look at it, it kind of looks like a child's drawing up there. Again, I would argue that this game is largely about the experience of being a child and having a child's imagination and using that imagination to cope with the world that you're in, right? The environment around you, which is an imperfect world. It's an environment that is, you know, maybe dirty, maybe dangerous, maybe representative of desperation or you know, those kinds of really extreme feelings. But this boy being able to find joy and wonder and imagination, you know, just sort of like magic in the world. This is, I think, not the same bird that we saw earlier, but it is a similar kind of bird. Wonderfully colorful. What did this do? It made the pipe go up. And now the pipe goes down, and I can go in it. So one of the things that I like about this game is that it's got this very forgiving puzzle design. Also, can I say for a second, they framed that camera angle, like they cut the camera away so that they wouldn't have to deal with the fact that you're inside that rotating pipe. That would have been a huge pain in the ass. The game is very forgiving when I don't understand a puzzle. I can continue sort of pressing the same inputs on the world, and it will continue to, oh Jesus, this is different. It'll continue to give me valuable feedback. So now we're introducing a new character. Look at this introduction. Look at how we don't get to see this character at the beginning. We just see it in silhouette. And we see it, I mean, notice how controlled this is, right? The amount of viewing space that we have is very narrow. The designer is controlling exactly what we see as we go through there. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they slowed down, at least briefly, the walk speed of the character to have exact control over what I was seeing when I was seeing in the pace of it. And now I know there's a monster out here, and now I see the monster, right? And the monster looks a little goofy, right? It's got kind of that walk cycle. I mean, it's clear to me this is not a AAA game. This is maybe a AA game. This is an independent game that had a limited budget, did not have $50 million. And a $50 million game maybe would have a more precise walk cycle for that monster, or would have a variety of walk cycles, or I mean, they would just have a larger budget for the animation of the monster. This game doesn't have that. They know that the walk cycle for the monster makes it look a little bit like a doll. And that's not the first impression that they want you to have. So they construct your first impression so that it's not that. It's something completely different than that. And when you come out of the pipe and you see the monster for the first time, you're not thinking about it as, what is this new thing? It looks kind of like a big rag doll. You're thinking about it as, oh, that's the monster. I just saw that fucking monster. That's terrifying. It changes your experience entirely because of how they controlled your introduction to it, and they controlled sort of based on what they knew are the strong points of their game and the weak points of their game. I'm looking for white chalk, because white chalk is my signal for there are things that I can do. And I'm not seeing any. The monster came in here and went down. Maybe I should go a different way. I don't know if my first instinct is supposed to be to try to follow the monster. I assume that it is. So far, every instance of life that I have seen in this world, the game has wanted me to follow. I like this. This is reminiscent of a puzzle from the first part of the game, although it actually behaves completely differently, right? In that puzzle, lifting these things caused the houses, the favela houses, to move around, and this time it's causing something completely different to happen. But the language of the puzzle signaling is the same, so it feels extremely familiar to me. Like I feel like I know how to interact with this. Because I've seen this kind of signaling before. And so even though it's now introducing an entirely different puzzle mechanic, right? These like little floating water blocks that I don't know what they are, but they will behave, I'm sure, because they look completely different. They'll behave differently than the houses did. They're introducing a new mechanic, but they're doing it with a visual mechanical language that I already understand. And so it's very easy for me to start that puzzle, to make progress on that puzzle. I say that, but now I'm a little stuck again. There's the box that I need. It's too high, I think. Yeah, it's too high. If I could get up above it, then I could drop down onto it. Or if I could, look at that fall down. If I could get over to that white, the white bar that's right there, maybe I could do something else. I talked about this last time. One of the other things that this game does, that it has been doing, is teaching me to trust it. That it will offer me very clear signals of where I should go and what I should do next. I just have to look for them and follow them and trust that if I see white chalk outline, that means there's a thing there that I should do. Interesting. Interesting. So it's not clear to me right now what the utility of that was, but obviously it is a component of a puzzle. I wonder why there's a gap here. Is that... I think that's in case I fall during this platforming. I'm going to try it out. So far the game has been extremely forgiving. If I fall down there, I just, I come back up here. So what is this little lower level for? Nothing special. Okay. That's fine. Just so that they can construct that little tower the way that they did. Alright, I'm back at square zero. I can move this box freely. I can move it up here. I don't think that helps me. If this were a different game, I would go up there and try to jump. But I've learned, this game has taught me that it's a very deliberate puzzle game. It uses signaling very well, and it lays out its puzzles very well. Clearly, this puzzle is not finished, right? There's a third box that needs to go there. And so I'm not going to be able to jump over there until that's done. Alright, I give up. I'm going to look in the hint box, see if it tells me anything I don't already know. Is something missing? I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, and then it's, so that last one just sort of spells out the thing that we've already discovered. God damn it, this is such a Portal puzzle. This is such a, like, this is how space works. You'll notice that all of the magical realism puzzles, I'm like, yeah, this is fun, this is good. But give me an actual, like, how does physical space work puzzle? I have no idea. I'm at a loss. Boxes. Boxes, right? Okay. Now we can do this. I'm psyched. I'm psyched that we got this done. Look at... Oh, Jesus. I'm going to back up so that we get real close to this. Look at the sparkle effect on this box. I mean, just... Again, so childhood and imagination, one sort of persistent theme of this. And like the imagination creating a world out of an imperfect world, a dangerous or ugly world. And then the other is this idea of magical realism, right? Which is, I don't know enough about. I mean, it's a literary movement that I read some Spanish books in high school that were magical realist. Magical realism is basically an approach to this little girl. What? Little girl? No. All right. Magical realism is an approach to the world where you, it's fantasy, right? It's magic introduced into the world at a very sort of low level. I mean, you've got like The Very Old Man with Extremely Large Wings is a short story that I remember from high school that's about this old man who has extremely large wings. And that's sort of like the magic in the world. All of a sudden there's this feature of the world which is not a high fantasy world, and it's not a like, you know, dreams come true world. It's a very gritty, sort of real, lower class sort of perspective on the world, except it has magic in it. And this game is probably the best example I've ever seen. I know how to solve this puzzle. Best example I've ever seen of a game using like the magic realism literary form. All right, so this switch that was useless before, I'm glad that I figured it out, because now I understand its utility. If I let go of this, is it gonna... Yes. Again, very forgiving mechanics. It, can I... Oh, no, I can't get there fast enough. That's good timing. Like, they know what my walk speed is, and they know what that animation length is, and they know that I'm gonna try to get over there, but I'm not gonna be able to. Like I've said before, this game is extremely forgiving in the way that it sort of sets up puzzles and lets you... Oh, God, no. Sets up puzzles and lets you, you know, try lots of different things. And it's hard to fail, right? The only place that I've ever gotten into a failure state is here, where I screw up the platforming. Like that. But I can't actually fail the puzzles. Even that one puzzle where I forgot to turn the key, like I really super screwed it up. It was easy for me to fix that mistake, to go back. The puzzles themselves are, you know, very, very forgiving. And that's an aesthetic, right? Like that's welcoming to new players, which is great. Like I love that kind of accessibility. But it suggests something about the world. It suggests that there's a kind of a safety in the world, or at least in parts of the world. Or if not a safety, then a part of the world that like caters specifically to you. Like this is clearly a world that is designed for me as like a child, and it's full of puzzles, and those puzzles are literally like solvable. Again, I think this is part of the aesthetic of this being like a child's imagination. I mean, I certainly have this experience of imagining the space around me accommodating me, especially when I was young, especially when I was, you know, at this kind of an age where you have limited agency of your own, and the world is hard to navigate. Like you have fantasies about being able to navigate the world easily, and the world accommodating your desires. So it's giving me a moment, like it wants me to interact, and it's just gonna let me take my time, but it's not gonna let me do anything else until I interact, I think. Look at that. Okay, look at that bounce. So that's the thing I learned. I can get up here by bouncing on that thing. There's also a new box. This is very similar to the hint boxes. Maybe it is still a hint box. Climb on the monster's belly. Move the camera to look at where you want to jump. Thanks for that. So I can actually jump to other places. Let me try it out. I don't know where I want to jump yet. This is this pose is very sort of aligned with the frog theme. I mean, we've seen a number of frogs throughout the game. and I look frog-like when I do that. How about I get out of here? Can I actually reach that window? Those rays of light are, I think, key to attracting my attention up there, to letting me see that. Oh, and look at that. I'm actually emerging from the bottom of this huge mural. I want really badly to look at the mural. I want to kind of come back here. That is beautiful, and I don't know what to make of it. I think it's puppets of puppets of puppets. That's okay. All right. So now I have a fruit that I can throw. Oh no, I can throw it with the other mouse button. If you are ever designing a game, players do not read anything. This is a thing. It literally said right mouse button, and I did not press the right mouse button. I pressed the left mouse button. Okay. Okay. Look at this queuing. This is great. So I stand over here, and stuff happens, but not enough. Like, the bridge doesn't unroll enough. I might have a hard time figuring this out, right? Like, maybe I would get it. Maybe I would understand the relationship between weight and pressure and this pressure plate and what's happening. But maybe I wouldn't, and maybe it would take me a while to figure it out. They draw a picture of the monster on the pressure plate, so there's no mistaking what I am supposed to do. The only question is, how do I do it? Oh, I can pull this. Oh, look at me pull this. Look at it open these doors. I thought that was a rope that I was going to climb up. Okay. Oh, God, the way the walls curve. This is part of just what's beautiful about this game. Every time I interact with the world, it changes the world in a way that is not natural. That is not the way you expect the world to be changed. So even if I accept the idea that I have this magical rope and pulling on the magical rope is going to open the concrete, like open big doors in concrete, I imagine those doors opening, you know, like doors. They're solid concrete, right? They're still like, even if I can like cut them apart and open them up, the fact that they scroll open, that they like bend like that in such an unreal way, lends to the sense that there's an otherworldliness to this. This is a magic world. Like, there's something really strange and unusual about this. Look at how happy he is. Did he have a happy face? I'm pretty sure he had a happy face on this fruit. That was adorable. He's gonna eat the fruit. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I can put that fruit there. I didn't lure him far enough. Interesting. Interesting. It's paying attention not just to where I put things, but actually where he's standing. So that's a lesson that I learned. Like, it's not enough. It's not appropriate for me to just place fruit down where I want him to be. I have to anticipate his movement. It's one of the first things. Okay, so I actually want to call out that moment. I mean, because I've talked about how accommodating this world is. I've talked about sort of how forgiving the puzzles are, how much the world sort of you know, seems to be designed for me. I think that's the first moment in the game where part of the mechanics of the world actively are not set up to accommodate me, to like make it easy. Like I conceptually solved that puzzle. I needed to put a piece of fruit to lure the monster onto the pressure plate. But conceptually solving the puzzle for the first time was not enough to actually solve the puzzle. I think that's actually a significant sort of moment in the game. Alright, I hope I didn't waste that fruit. I did learn that I can sort of throw fruit straight through him, which is interesting. You know, that's one of those things that, again, like I need to understand what are the physics of this world. And part of the physics of this world are that he doesn't trample me, right? Like he was walking right past me and I didn't like run away scared or suffer damage or anything like that. I can kind of clip through him a little bit if I need to, if I'm like throwing stuff. Oh, now he's got lots of fruit. I wonder what else did that do? That released a bunch of fruit. And I have one more fruit here. Is there a place that I'm supposed to go? If there is, I don't see it. I can sort of, like, I can lead him around using this fruit, but it's not clear that I need to. So I'm just going to give it to him. Maybe this is about the amount of fruit that he eats. Yeah, look at that. If he eats enough fruit, he's going to be tired. Oh, and when he's tired, I can use him to bounce, so I can reach new areas. So now the game has just introduced me to a whole new mechanic that like changes the way that I'm going to visualize spaces, or that I'm going to understand and relate to spaces. Now I'm going to be not just looking for white chalk outlines, I'm going to be looking for strategic bounce places. Like, where can the monster go where it's going to give me an opportunity to jump to a place that I wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. I'm going to be thinking about things in kind of a different way. And of course, it's still using a lot of the old language, right? It's still using these gears. We're very familiar with the gears. Still using like these kinds of established mechanics, established cues, but it's continually introducing new ones as well. I'm glad that exclamation point popped up, because I don't know if I would have seen this tree. Oh god, look at all the fruit. So it's the tree is a little subtle, although I say that, you know what, it's maybe every tree. I haven't seen a lot of trees in this favela. I mean, I think I actually commented there's not a lot like growing. This isn't a green area, so maybe it's just whenever I see a tree I can climb up it and get more fruit. Can I wake him up? I can wake him up. And can I encourage him to go into that area over there? I didn't even explore that area. I'm trusting the white lines, right? Like those white chalk outlines never lead me astray. Look at the little star that's drawn down here, like in crayon. I mean, this is such a like child's imagination world. It's beautiful. She knows who I am. Like, she knows my name. And she knows what I'm supposed to be doing. She's acquired kind of like, she's not just a little girl that I'm following around. She's got sort of a mystical, I mean, she's got knowledge, right? She's a wise woman. She's a dynamic for me in a sort of character, hero's journey kind of a sense. Here's a question. Can I solve this puzzle entirely from up here? I believe that I can go down onto that. Oh shit, I screwed that up. I can go down onto the lower level and place these where I want them. But could I actually... Yeah, look at that. That feels good. That feels nice that I'm able to do that. And also, okay, so the way that this is designed, it made me come back over here to pull on that lever, and inevitably when I do that, I can see that this fruit has respawned. Like, I didn't conceptually know that the fruit was going to respawn inside of these circles. I didn't know what these circles were for. But now, I have an understanding that when I see fruit in a little sort of... Where'd the monster go? Oh, there he is. Now he's sleeping in a new place. Alright, I'm going to put this on the opposite side of the circle from him so that he will walk into the circle. Now I know that when I see one of these little chalk outlines surrounding a piece of fruit, that means that that's a like replenishable fruit supply. So this is interesting. This is suggesting something. Okay. So our introduction to this creature was frightening, right? Very tightly controlled experience to introduce it as frightening. But since then, it has been non-aggressive and it's been helpful in multiple ways, right? It helped us get across a bridge. It helps us jump all over the place. Now I feel like we're engaging with it, or we're about to engage with it in a different way. Now it's trapped, and the fact that it's trapped suggests that it's dangerous, right? That's a psychological little trick. I'm gonna follow this line. I'm gonna follow this line because I trust the white chalk. I've never seen scissors before. I'm really curious about scissors. I think I'm gonna go for like 10 more minutes, is my plan. Okay, so that makes that go in and out. I'm gonna drop down to the bottom. I feel pretty safe dropping down to the bottom of any puzzle now because the puzzles are forgiving. It has taught me that I can't like screw up and fail a puzzle. The only time that I can like really screw up is when I screw up some platforming, and then it makes it really obvious that the consequences are going to be severe. Like it's infinite depth into water. So of course there's a ladder that I can climb back up. I don't quite see it. That goes up. But it doesn't make anything more accessible. I'm gonna explore. One of the other things that the game taught me is that I need to look around my environment. And that it's also worth trying these things multiple times. There's no way that I can jump to that, right? I feel very strongly that this game is not Prince of Persia. And I said that before. And I will probably say that about every 3D platformer that I play. Okay. I'm not super happy with that. I feel like that moment betrays a lot of what I have come to expect from this game so far. That was a very Prince of Persia jump. That was a very like, oh my god, that looks too far. Can I make it? In Prince of Persia, yes. The answer is always yes, you can make it because you're the fucking Prince of Persia. In this game, I feel like I expect it to be much more clear when I am going to be able to make a jump and when I'm not. And that looked, you know, that was too far to be comfortable. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I mean, I do feel like we're moving into a new mode of experience, right? The overall sense of the game is changing. We've been introduced to this new character, this monster character, who's, you know, obviously going to be a major influence on the game based on the box art, if nothing else. And being introduced to this new character has kind of changed some of the things that we expect. It's changed some of our relationship to the world. But that didn't feel intentional. That didn't feel like that was a deliberate, the game saying something meaningfully about how our relationship to the world has changed. That felt like it was just a jump that was of a different sort than we've had so far. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that recurs. Look at that rainbow. This is the first time I've seen something like that. And it's super interesting. Okay, so I've mentioned the color palette for this game before, but I haven't actually talked about it. It's extremely muted, and it's extremely green, right? Like, well, that's much more red than anything else we've seen. Even a lot of the reds that we see in this world are almost like purpley reds. This is a very cool color palette. All of the neutrals, like what you would think, this house right here is a white house, and that is not white. That is like super green, cyan green. Everything in the world is kind of tinted cyan green, and it's muted. It's not saturated colors, it's desaturated colors. Even this rainbow, which is an interesting sort of like symbol of color across the sky. Think of rainbows and hope and I don't know, you know, puppy dogs and freedom, like good things, abstract good things. It's an extremely muted rainbow. Like, that's not a bright, saturated rainbow. It's well within the color palette of this world. All right, monster, what are you doing? You were just chowing down on fruits as they spawn. Okay, it's gonna keep you busy. No, I can pick one up. Come with me. Can I get you to come down? Can I get you to jump a level? I cannot. That's good to know. Monster only likes to go in straight lines. Here are frogs again. And this is a moment that I remember from the half of the game that I played the first time, where our relationship to this creature and our relationship to the world, I think, is going to change drastically. Remember, I couldn't get him to go down here for fruit, but he is going down here now. chasing after those frogs. I'm still trusting. I'm trusting this chalk. I don't know what the chalk is going to do. Okay. So he's inclined to lose interest if something isn't grabbing his attention immediately. This is actually super interesting. So now, what we have here is we have a companion character with an artificial intelligence, and a huge responsibility for me as a player is going to be to understand and predict the actions of this artificial intelligence. Now, this isn't a complicated artificial intelligence. Intelligence in games, especially in single-player games, especially the kinds of games that I tend to play, are generally not super complicated. They frequently boil down to state machines, right? If an actor is in a particular state and you give it a particular input, it will go into another state. So this creature, when it is awake and you give it the input, there are frogs nearby, it will investigate the frogs. When it's in that state and you take away the frogs, it will get bored and go to sleep. These are predictable patterns that I'm certain puzzle solving in the future in this game will involve me recalling and predicting these patterns of behavior that I'm learning right now. So one of the things that the game has to do is teach me these patterns in a way that I'm gonna see them all, and I'm gonna understand their relationships, and I'm gonna be able to recall them when it's important. So I just learned something about how it is related to frogs as an input, and how it reacts when that input is taken away. But that's not actually important yet. I don't need to use that particularly to solve any puzzles yet. I'm sure that I will in the future. Instead, I'm going to solve this the same way that I have solved some puzzles in the past. It's repeating the same patterns like any good puzzle game. Portal is the classic example of really excellent puzzle design that gives you patterns in really simple contexts and then asks you to repeat those mechanics again and again and again while making the context more and more complex. Okay. I'm going to keep going until I get through this puzzle part. Like, I can tell this is, the ground is raising. I'm going to need to get it level up to a certain point. Look at that mural. Every so often, the game just throws in one of these, like, super colorful murals. Still within the desaturated palette of the world. Like, it doesn't pop out of the world in an unnatural way, the way that, like, the white that has an intensity that isn't anywhere else. But it's pushing the boundaries of what is sort of acceptable within the palette of the world. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. All right, I'm going to try to solve this puzzle, and then I think that's going to be it for tonight. So this is a pattern that I've seen, right? Here's what the game is going to teach me now. The game is going to teach me that when he's looking for frogs, he does not care at all about fruit. I bet you anything. Look at that. No reaction. I am going to throw fruit at his head. And I think it's going to clip right through. Yeah, look at that. No reaction. When he's looking for frogs, he doesn't care about fruit even a little bit. Again, look at, like, that opens in such an unexpected way. Ah, I love that. I love the way that that keeps reminding me that this is not the real world. This is a magical version of the real world. Even that jump, like, I felt like I could make that jump. That did not seem extreme to me. We'll see. Oh god, am I actually going down to where the frogs are? I find that frightening. Can I interact with this? I can't. Can I take a frog and give it to him? Can't climb a ladder while I have a frog. Can I throw it that? No, I can't throw it up. Can I throw it at this target? What appears to be a target. I got an achievement for that. Sharp splatter. I don't know that it accomplished anything. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm killing all of the frogs. And when there are no more frogs, I've learned if we take away the frog input, then the monster goes into a different state, right? Like, I should be able to predict this sequence of states. And now he's interested in the fruit again. So fruit is interesting when there are no frogs. And when there is no fruit, he's going to go to sleep. Look at that. Like, now I'm starting to be able to predict exactly what he's going to do in every situation. I don't want you to go to sleep. I want you to come over here and stand in... wrong button. And stand in this big square. Come over here. And I know how I can get him over there, right? Like, I've learned these patterns. This game does a really good job of introducing mechanics and then continuing to use them and putting them together into patterns that are recognizable patterns, right? You can sort of see the Lego blocks of puzzles that are actually put together. Like, there's a sequence where I need to wake him up. It's really loud. This is, like, we've done some things that are mildly destructive to the city. This is the first time I feel like we're... I don't know. We're changing the city on a scale that's different than we've done before. Okay, so this is... I've been up here. This is the same territory that I've been. Oh, it's giving me a new square. Like, I have a new goal area. And I no longer have access to the fruits that I used to have access to. But I'm gonna assume that I now have access to new areas. There's a thing that I want to get to up there. It seems like it's too high for me to get to it just yet. There's one over there that looks exactly the right height, and there are stairs to it. Look at that. If I just stand here and look around, I can find exactly what I'm looking for. I can find all of the solutions to the puzzles. There's something actually really wonderful about that, again, I'm going to compare this to Portal. So one of the nice things about Portal is, God, just go back and play Portal. Portal is such a good game, and such a well-designed game. One of the things about it is it does not disguise where the exit to the room is, right? You enter a room, your goal is to get to the exit, and you know exactly where the exit is. So there's no, like, hunting around where am I supposed to go. And then there's I mean, some of the puzzles are really big and complicated, and so you can't see everything, but in general, you can look around and you can see how everything is laid out. And if you know what all of the pieces are, you can kind of stand there and put together a plan and figure out how you're going to solve the puzzle without doing anything a lot of the time. Of course, you don't know what's going on because every puzzle introduces new things to you, and so you have to start trying to do something. You have to sort of come up with half a plan and try it out and discover a new mechanic, and then now that you understand that new mechanic, now you can sort of complete your plan and figure out the whole level. And then you go to the next level, and same thing. You can see the exit, you know exactly where you're supposed to go. You can come up with a half of a plan using the new mechanics that you just learned. And by executing on that first half of the plan, you discover something new about the world. Look, now we've got an upturned pipe. I know exactly what an upturned pipe means. It means that if I put frogs in there, I'm going to attract his attention. And there's a square directly under it. So of course I want him to come over here. I need to get me some frogs. Look at that. There's frogs. Like, literally, as I'm standing here, so I turn this gear, right? The camera points me over this direction so that I can see this pipe. As soon as I turn the camera away to start, like, walking back to the main area, to where I was, I can see the frogs. Like, that camera turn is almost inevitable. And of course there's audio. Like, I can hear that there are frogs nearby, and that helps. And I know that I'm looking for frogs, and that helps. But it's like the space is laid out in a way that camera move is almost inevitable. I mean, I just turned around and there were the frogs. Is really, really, really beautiful level design. Okay, so again, I can't go up there. I can't go up the ladder. I have learned that. They've created these really interesting constraints that allow me to interact with the frogs in kind of a confined area. That's a chalk outline, right? I feel like there's a chalk outline on that pipe. I'm certain there is. Only the chalk outline is that bright, has that kind of intensity. And so I sort of feel like I should be able to throw the frog. But clearly that's not the case. Oh, how about I just do what I'm supposed to do? Like, I was thinking too hard. I was also, okay, to be fair, I was also, I've been trained by this game so far to look for those white outlines and to, like, trust them implicitly. The white outlines are always what I want to do next. And maybe that is still a white outline, and maybe it is still meaningful, but it is not, it distracted me. And that's sort of the first time I think that I've been distracted like that by a white outline. Now, if I throw this frog away, my expectation is the monster is going to lose interest and no longer be stuck on this pipe. No, still stuck on the pipe. Maybe I have to kill the frogs. Gosh, there's a lot of frog killing in this game. No, you gotta throw a frog to kill it. I don't know what I'm thinking. You have to throw a frog to kill it. I'm a little curious. Oh no, frogs come back. Ah, that's what that pipe is for. If I pick up a frog and I throw it against the wall. No? Yes, a frog comes out of the pipe. It's a little deceiving because I'm not actually interacting with the pipe, even though the pipe is, you know, part of the magic of the world. Oh, and look at that. So, while I was busy playing with the frogs, the thing that I did first to try to solve that puzzle worked. I just didn't realize it. What do I learn from that? I need to pay more attention to the monster. Also that there's a lag, right? That the state machine that is the monster doesn't react instantly. Sometimes I'm going to perform a behavior, and then the monster will take a minute to react to it. I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next. I've made that sort of light bridge appear. I'm not sure how to get to it, but I'm going to try going over this way. No, it's not over this way. I also don't see a ladder anywhere over there. Is there... I have a sleeping monster, which means that I can jump really high. Is there somewhere I can jump to? I mean, not obviously. Right? Like, that's not enough. Oh! Alright. So I did screw this up. So I actually... I thought that I was done with the monster. Alright, I'm seeing this now. I thought I was done with the monster. Go that way. Go that way. I thought I was done with the monster. I thought that, like, I had put him in the place that he needed to be, and that that caused this thing to happen, and it no longer needed to happen. But the fact that it's still lit up suggests to me that I'm supposed to keep him there, at least for a time. Maybe I'm wrong. Because it's still not clear what I'm missing. Hey. No. Come here. Cattail. Oh, except I can jump over this. That's what I'm missing. Okay. So, I mean, any kind of a puzzle game, especially like a 3D puzzle game like this, is going to have these moments of uncertainty where it's just, it's sort of the nature of the amount of world, the amount of perspective that you have access to. Oh, fuck. That you're, oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm going to watch this. This is extremely different. This has changed dramatically. Can I draw your attention to the palette shift, right? Remember how green everything in the world was just a minute ago? Now everything's red. Or at least it's substantially more red. It's kind of yellowish compared to what it was. Alright, I just want to get him into the big white box, right? Chalk outlines are my friend. Come over here. No. How about come over here? Oh, Jesus, yes, that's frightening. That's scary. That appears to have made a key appear. Okay. And now I just need to touch these, it looks like. He's in a cage. I'm not sure how long the cage is going to last. If I think about it, I don't hear the tick, tick, tick of a countdown, but I do see the key turning, which suggests that maybe there's a limited amount of time. Yeah, look at that. Look at that limited amount of time. Alright. Come here. Come here. I'm kiting now. The puzzles are still pretty forgiving, right? Like, he wasn't 100% inside of the cage, but he was enough inside of the cage that it gave it to me. Like, it let me have it. Come here. Oh, I don't have a key this time. What about this one? Does this one have a key? Or am I just supposed to jump on the... This one does have a key. Oh, I fucked that up. Okay. So, oh no. I need to be over there. What do you think? Can I make it? I don't think I can make it. This music, right? Like, what is the emotional state that this music is designed to elicit? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I got no choice. There we go. There we go. Good, good. Come here, monster. There is a key over here. I mean, the drums, like all of this. First of all, it's got kind of like a South American, Brazilian, I don't know Brazilian music well, but it's got a sound that I could conceivably associate with Rio de Janeiro, but it's got an intensity that, I mean, we've heard some loud music, especially in the first segment when all of the music was too loud, but we've never heard anything with this kind of urgency, right? Like, I am freaked out. I'm still, if I take my hands off the keyboard, right, I'm still in a puzzle mode where, just like every other puzzle, there's no time limit here. I mean, there are timers on elements of the puzzle, but I've encountered that before. Like, I can deal with that. There's no, like, overall urgency. The monster's not literally chasing after me. I'm in a safe space. I can, like, sit here and figure out what I need to do. But the feeling that I have, the experience of solving this puzzle is 100% different, right? My heart is racing. I feel an urgency that has not existed before in the game. Even in the timed puzzles previously in the game. The timed puzzles previously were all about, set things up so that when you get to the point where you pull the trigger and now you're on a timer, you've got plenty of time. Like, there's actually very little urgency involved. Still, there's not a lot of urgency involved, but I feel this is intense. Oh god. Oh god. So, of course, I am not going to want to go down there, so the game doesn't give me any choice. The game sort of creates a scripted event that is going to force me... Did he just spit up a frog? Is that what happened? That's interesting. That's super interesting. So the game is going to force me to take the interaction that I'm supposed to take the first time. And now, in the future, I'm going to know. Blue fruit, that's the cooldown. That's how I get out of this. She keeps calling me cursed. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh god, I have control. Can I talk to her? I kind of feel like the only thing that I can do... I mean, I could go back up to that island. I could go back up there, but I don't know why I would. I'm so tempted to enter the circle. I don't know if I was supposed to do that or not. I think I was. I think that is what progresses this. This is a very similar scene to the one that we started with. I'm starting from further away, right? Like, this is actually, I think, going to be a longer scene because I'm running further. I have still... Oh! Look at that. Look at that cinematic, like, man in the headlights with the silhouette of the monster in the back. And there's me with my robot, clutching it, obviously terrified. Robot's gonna protect me. Right? Like, you know, powerful. It is monster's burden to kill.
Leona, fasolaraya. Ashetanu.
Asu omo?
Asevo, fasora suo papo.
Ue? Sa ue onai sedana.
Amaye etao chaman. Lea ite darahu. Sosan.
So that's Act 1, right? We've reached now a crisis point. We've by which I mean we've reached a change point. We've reached a point where the direction of the story changes. Now we have a mission, whereas before we didn't have a mission. We sort of had these quests of opportunity that were all about, by the way, they were all about companionship, right? They were all about finding some inhabitant of this city that appears to be empty, and following them, like finding them, tracking them down, making a connection with them. I mean, I just think that's significant. Now we've been given a real actual quest. Now we have a mission to cure Monster. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. I think this game might turn out to be a tragedy. That is the sort of narrative feel that I have right now. But we will see. And I'm feeling now much more fragile than I have throughout the whole first part of the game. But I'm also feeling more kind of filled with purpose, right? That's what having a mission gives you. That's what being assigned a quest gives you. It gives you a sense of purpose. I feel like now I'm driven. Now I have sort of a cause, and it seems to me to be a noble cause. I'm objectively, if I sort of take a step back and look at this, I could certainly make an argument for this boy should get as far away from the monster as he possibly can. But the game has done enough to put me in a frame of mind following this boy around, building up a relationship with Monster that, as I said, it started out not antagonistic. It started out extremely helpful, right? Like I needed him to help me solve puzzles. I had a dependency from a mechanical standpoint that builds a relationship for me. And so now there's a part of me that doesn't want to abandon him, right? If there's a chance that I can help, that I can sort of help him, not just control him, but help him control himself. That's the way that this whole thing has been framed for me. Of course I want to do that. So this is where I'm going to stop tonight. I am going to come back at some point this week, I think, and continue playing this. And I'll post this up on YouTube. Super excited. This is my very first Twitch broadcast. Thank you so much, everybody who in the chat. who was here, who supported me. I'm super excited to continue doing this. We're getting, I think, very close to the point where I have played in this game, and obviously I don't remember how to solve all of the puzzles. I'm still getting stuck, but we're about to cross into stuff that I've never seen before, and I have no idea how this game ends. So I'm super excited to come back and play more of it, and to play some more games this February as well. Thanks a lot. Once again, I'm Sean Bouchard. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.